Every time I go in the camera, I still worry about how I look. And so I end up making this really super serious, not cool face in order to try to look cool in front of the camera. And that does not work. Today I want to talk about the, Trump's idea of uh, injecting disinfectant into our blood and then to cure the coronavirus. Obviously, it's a stupid idea. I've actually thought about the same thing myself when I was a couple of months back. I was just thinking. I wasn't exactly thinking that. I was thinking if if we want to if we if something went into our system, maybe we should gargle with disinfectant and it'll kill the germs. Obviously, don't do that either. Uh, but it's just interesting, just brainstorming, and it's just not appropriate for the president to brainstorm in front of a live audience where he's going to get taken seriously. Um, like, for example, there are a lot of things that I think of in my head, and they sound good in my head, but before I say them to anybody, sometimes I try to say them to myself first, and then when I say them to myself, I'm like, oh shit, this is the stupidest thing that I've thought of this week. And then I don't say it to other people. More on the virus. Okay, so I I have a friend who has a friend who is very old and is part of a very vulnerable community, and basically he he caught the virus and he was about to die, and they induced him into a coma. His doctors induced him into a coma on purpose, so that I don't really know how it works, but it's a month later, and he's starting to recover, which is good. And I was saying this to my mom, and she said, "Yeah, but the damage has already been done." And then it's interesting. We're talking about this. We're talking about after an organ has been damaged, can we recover? Well, obviously, when something's been damaged and it's not healed to the full capacity, then that part is never going to recover. However, I argue that you can, if you worked hard enough, you could make up for it, and you could actually function better than you did before you had the injury. This does not apply for certain non like non involuntary muscles like kidney. You can't train your kidney to work better than it did before. You can't train your liver to work better than it did before. I think you can train your lungs to work better than it did before, just like you can train your brain. I mean, I don't mean like as in potential. You can't train anything to have more potential than it did before, but you can train, but the actualized uh, function you could train to have better. Uh, that's that's something that I really believe in, and this is the end of my video.